All right, here we are with an example of a decimal equation. This one is going to be for Travis Kelce. We can see his rushing yards, his touchdowns, his receptions, and his receiving yards for this week. This equation will be provided for you. And if you remember, our first step is to break the problem down into smaller, more manageable chunks. In this case, that's already been done for you a little bit. We've got a bunch of sets of parentheses. So our first step will be to solve inside each parenthesis. Normally I would start working right here, but this is the most complicated one. So I'm going to skip this one and come back to it at the end. We're going to go on to this one. This one is just 6 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So I'm going to just keep our 0. I'll go ahead and keep our parentheses as well. Once again, I'm going to skip this one and go on to this last one because I think it's a little bit easier. So here we've got 0.13 times 100. Now there's a really easy trick for when you're using decimals, which is that any decimal number times 10, all you have to do is multiply or is move the decimal over. So if I have, let's say, 0.65 times 10, all I've got to do is move this decimal point over in order to do the multiplication, and I just end up with 6.5. So when I'm multiplying something by 100, all I have to do is move this decimal point twice, and I will end up with 13 as my answer there. I'll go ahead and erase this. All right, let's come back to our multiplication that we started with. We're going to use our standard multiplication techniques. I'm going to use 0.13 as my top, and then you're going to put 4 underneath it and do our multiplication here. I'm going to do 4 times 3 is 12. So I'll write 2 down here. I'll carry the 1 up here. And then I'll do 4 times 1 is 4, plus my 1 that I carried over is going to be 5. And we'll bring down the 0. So we'll end up with 0.52 as our number here. This is our final one right here. We're going to go ahead and use our standard multiplication techniques again. Move down our 5. We'll do 5 times 3 is 15. We'll bring down the 5 here, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus our 1 that we carried over is 6. But we would end up with 65. You got to remember our decimal point here. Bring our decimal point down. End up with 6.5. And that'll be our number there. Now we've solved each of our individual parentheses. We're going to go back and take a bigger look at the overall equation. Remember, we're adding together all of these numbers. We've still got 4 things going on. I'm just going to split up this addition just to make it easier on me. So I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to solve this left side first. Whoop, I almost forgot our negative number. So if you remember, we had -4 times 0.13. We can't forget our negative number. So keep that negative side. We want to be negative 0.52 plus 0. Anything plus 0 is just the same number. So we can keep our negative 0.52. And then over here, we got 6.5 plus 13. That is 19.5. Now, it's our final addition here, which is negative 0.52 plus 19.5. And we're going to end up with 18.98.